All right. Hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It is Nigel here once again. So, I mentioned during my Cena versus CM Punk review that I'm probably not going to do as much Halloween content for the month of October this year. We're still going to have a couple movies, but mainly want to focus on some other stuff. There's some stuff I got to play catch up on, some other stuff I want to try out, some other stuff I want to do. So it's probably not going to be as much this month. But one thing I did want to do is read this particular story. This is a creepypasta. So for those of you who don't know, you're like, Nigel, what's a creepypasta? If you were around in ye olden days of the internet, you probably know what a creepypasta is. But just in case you don't, it's pretty much like a scary, unsettling, creepy story, as the name would suggest. And I don't think they're as big anymore nowadays, especially because we have like subreddits like two sentence horror, and we even have like bad two sentence horror, which is funny. But they were really big around the time on the internet. There was and I see some of the other ones on this site here, or I even see another WWE one, so I might check that one out next time. But I do see some other ones that are very notable, such as Russian Sleep Experiment, Ben Drowned, Squidward Suicide. I think Sonic.exe was one as well. Oh, but I don't see it on kind of the list here. That's just like the top pages off to the side. But as I kind of alluded to, I kind of showed my hand a little bit, but that's all right. We have this creepypasta, which is a WWF one. This is WWF canceled in your house pay per view. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna read it. We're going to kind of talk about it as well. Now, of course, kind of a quick disclaimer. If you're someone who me Sorry, I just had to. I figured it would be probably be better and would fit the mood more if I turned my light off, which I did. Which is this is a voiceover, so you guys didn't see. So what was the point? Uh, but I do want to give a quick disclaimer. If you're someone who doesn't really like haunted, spooky content, if you're someone who doesn't like scares or to be scared, then I would advise that you probably not watch this one. Or if you're someone who like is kind of squeamish, I have read this creepypasta before. I don't think it's anything super duper bad. It is some stuff that's gonna be slightly uncomfortable, but if you don't want to listen to that sort of thing, and if you want to steer clear of it, that is totally fine. You are well within to do so. Oh, sorry, I'm moving away from the mic, because I was looking for something. There it is. But yeah, if you don't want to hear about that kind of thing, feel free to click off this video. Oh, trust me, I won't take it personal. But otherwise, without further ado, let's get right into the story. Before I start telling the story, let me introduce myself. My name is Dexter, and I am currently playing football for the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. I probably butchered that, but yeah. Growing up, I was a huge fan of pro wrestling, and I was always begging my parents to let me stay up late to watch Monday Night Raw. Yes, I know wrestling is mostly fake, but I never really cared. I just wanted to see my favorite wrestler, Kane, chokeslam everyone from Stone Cold to Meat. Recently, with classes and football games, I've had trouble keeping up with both Raw and SmackDown. The other thing was that I only had a low to moderate amount of money, so I can only watch 2 or 3 pay-per-views per year. I usually stick to watching my old WWF DVDs when I can, except for one. Last May, I was walking around the campus when I passed by a pro wrestling store. I had passed by that same lot a few days ago, and it was unoccupied and still had the for rent sign. Those must be some efficient workers, I thought to myself. Shrugging, I walked inside. As soon as I walked in, a blast of air conditioning welcomed me. Thank God, too. South Carolina isn't exactly the coolest place in the world. Scanning to the shelves, I spotted action figures, signed merch, and DVDs. I hopped over to the DVD shelf and went through its contents. A couple of WrestleManias, a Jeff Hardy one, and a complete In Your House box set. If you're not a wrestling fan, In Your House was a pay per view series that was held in the months the WWF didn't have a major pay per view. Being from Memphis, I was able to go to the St. Valentine's Day Massacre event when I was 8, and it wasn't even nosebleed seats. I was 4 rows from the ring. I snatched the box set, an Eddie Guerrero figure, and a Monster Energy from the vending machine, and put my loot on the counter. I expected the In Your House collection to be worth a fortune, but nope, it was only 25 bucks. I didn't really think much of it, and I rode my skateboard back to my dorm. When I got home, I popped the CD into my PlayStation 3. The menu came up, which was the In Your House logo and a collection of shots from the events. There were 4 options: select event, random event, options, and extras. I checked out the options menu. It was nothing special, just languages, subtitles, display, and all that junk. I don't remember much from the extras menu. I saw a promo for WrestleMania 2000, though. By the way, the DVD was apparently released in summer 1999. I decided to get this show on the road and went to select events. It took me to a list of In Your House pay per views, all 28 of them. I scrolled through, and sure enough, everything from the first In Your House to Backlash was there. A part of my mind wanted me to go further for some reason, to see if there were any more options. There were. Right there on the screen was 29, Armageddon In Your House. Clear as day. The title itself didn't really strike me as odd. There were In Your House events that later became yearly pay per views, like Unforgiven. The first Armageddon was held in December 1999, but still, 29? As far as my extensive knowledge went, there were only 28 In Your House shows. I decided to select it. I was brought to another screen. The description said Armageddon took place on June 6, 1999 in Charleston, South Carolina. I selected the match select option. There were only 2 matches. The first was a 20-man over-the-top rope battle royale, or battle royal, and the second was Kane versus Mankind in an Inferno match. Saving the best for last, I chose the battle royal. Billy Gunn won, if you were one of the few who cares. After that, I selected Kane versus Mankind. Both of the wrestlers made their entrances, though I thought Hank Kane's music was a bit different. A lower pitch, maybe. When both were in the ring, the fire around the canvas was lit, and the match was underway. As far as I remember, the match was pretty normal. Kane would get in a few hits, Mankind would get a few, and they'd both hit their finisher sometime during the match. I, myself, felt pretty successful. I had found a lost WWF event. Still, why would Mr. McMahon remove all traces of this from the promotion's history? I was about to find out. Kane had been getting a ton of momentum, and he grabbed Mankind in a chokehold. Knowing full well what was coming next, I smiled like I was 10 years old all over again. The big red monster lifted Mankind up and tossed him into the flames. The bell rang, signaling Kane had won the match. Then the screaming began. Horrible, agonizing, ear-raping screaming that could only be described as a banshee's wail in reverse. The camera panned over to Mankind, and what I saw was terrifying. Now, before I explain the scene, I'm rather immune to gore and disturbing imagery. I'm a dedicated slash x slash file. Admittedly, I'm not sure what that means. Means there is another one with the 2 slashes. I'm guessing it's probably something related to whichever was the original site this was on. So I'm guessing it's in regards to that, but otherwise I don't really know what it means. But anyway, I'm a dedicated slash x slash file, and I've written a few creepypasta, but this was just above all of that. Mankind was on fire. Standard end to an Inferno match, right? That's how you win, after all. This was different. You could clearly see his skin melting off, showing muscle and even bone in some spots. His hair was singed, the lights in the arena turned off, but the flames still burned bright. And this went on, and on, and on. Finally, Jim Ross ran over with a fire extinguisher and sprayed Mankind. His charred body laid there, not moving an inch. Paramedics arrived and took him out of the arena. The television cut to black and took me back to the main menu. Now, being a wrestling connoisseur, I had knowledge of what was legit and what was kayfabe. This was legit. There was no way, especially in 1999, that such a horrendous burning could be faked like that on live television. All right, this next part, I normally he I, I normally censor it, but because it's in the story, I'll read it. Fuck, I don't even think that's possible now. I couldn't get the image of mankind out of my brain. And I hopped over to my computer and made a thread about it on slash woo slash as quick as I could. Only one person knew what I was talking about. He said that mankind wasn't originally Mick Foley. The character was portrayed by another unknown wrestler who died after the Inferno match. The pay per view was never aired or referred to again, and Mick Foley was brought in to replace Mankind's original wrestler. Foley, however, had always been Cactus Jack and Dude Love. Mankind was called the third face of Foley because of the other wrestler's striking resemblance to Mick. The next morning, I went over to the wrestling store to ask the manager about the DVD. Surprisingly, the place was open on Memorial Day. The manager said he found the DVD on the black market and thought it would be perfect for collectors. I haven't touched that disc since. So, quite the story. Obviously, the story's not real. That's kind of the whole point. I mean, but crazy concept and idea to think about. Like, if there was a secret pay per view that WWE like erased from history and didn't want people seeing and didn't want getting out. I'm sure there's some pay per views that WWE wishes people couldn't see and wish that never happened. Some that spring to mind, are like December to December 2006, not because anybody died or anything, but because it was bad. But otherwise, what a concept for a story, and it is quite the story. Now, like I said, obviously it's fake. Mankind, Mick Foley has always been mankind, and stuff like that. So it's obviously fake, but definitely, definitely pretty crazy and pretty interesting story there. But ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this reading. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, turn on those post notifications so you know every time I upload videos so you never miss an upload, and leave a like for the Mega Man gameplay. But let me know in the comment section below, what are your thoughts on this creepypasta, and if you guys want me to read more. Or I do see another WWE one, on the list here, like I mentioned earlier. This one's called Lost WWE WrestleMania Prototype Event, WF Grand Stage. And you know what? Now I think about it, let's read it here. Actually, this is a long one. Okay, this is a very long one. Never mind. So maybe we'll read this next time. Maybe we'll read it later on this month. But in the meantime, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys later. Peace.